Imagine if the price of gas keeps going up, and one day it's so expensive that it's no longer worth buying or even worth selling at a gas station. What do? You have a car, a truck, or even a motorcycle, and you need to get somewhere but you don't have any money to buy gas. Well, we're gonna show you how to make your own gas after the apocalypse. So let's jump into this video right now. Hey folks, welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, I'm the host and I welcome you to the channel. We are out here today on a beautiful ranch. This is not my property. The owner wanted to be known only as George D. He wanted me to film some videos out here because he's got an abundant supply of materials that will allow us to make a lot of the things that people would need after the SHTF, and we're going to be doing a series of videos. But today we're going to focus on making our own fuel. Now, when you think of making fuel, most people are going to think about ethanol or alcohol fuels. But there are other types of fuels that we can make and still run modern vehicles, so we're going to talk about those as well. But let's start with the basics. When you think of fuel, you might think of oil. You know, oil is used to make gasoline and diesel and all these different things. And where does oil come from? Oil comes from organic matter. It comes from plants, animals, and other organic sources that have been buried over millions of years. Pressure and heat have turned this into fossil fuels that we can now use today. So what we need to do is locate some of this organic matter and see if we can turn it into oil or oil products that we can use today. There's a lot of different ways to extract oils, and a lot of them are very complicated and require special equipment. But there's one that's very easy, and that's cold pressing. All we need is something organic, a press and a cloth bag. We going to place our organic material into a bag, and then we going to tie the end of the bag. Now we going to put our press device on top of the bag, and then we going to start pressing. As we press, the oil will come out the bottom and collect in a container. This is the same way olive oil is made. In fact, most vegetable oils are cold pressed. And what you can do is use an old hydraulic press if you want to get fancy, or you can just use a large rock. This isn't exactly how it would go down after the SHTF, but we're just trying to demonstrate that if you had a lot of organic matter, you could actually turn that into an oil product. And there's several ways that you can use this oil. First off, you can use it to run certain types of engines, especially diesel engines. But we're going to be focusing on gasoline today. With this oil, you can actually distill it, turn it into gasoline. To do this, we're going to need a large pot and a glass jar with a lid. Place a little bit of oil in the jar and then place the lid on top, leaving a little space in the middle. Then place your pot of water on top and bring it to a boil. As the oil boils, it will evaporate and then condense inside your jar. You'll notice a little bit of water in the jar, but you can drain that off and save it later. What's left will be your distilled oil, which can then be used in your vehicle. Now, this isn't going to be much in terms of quantities, but it will give you a little bit of fuel to get started. If you want to use this oil to run your car, you can mix it with vegetable oil or even ethanol. If you have a flex fuel vehicle that can run E85, you can mix a little bit of this oil in there and run your car. Now, the downside to this is you're not going to get good gas mileage, but it will allow you to stretch out your fuel supplies if you ever needed to. But let's talk about alcohol fuels. Alcohol fuels are another option that a lot of people think of when they're rethinking about making their own fuel. Now, there's several different types of alcohols that can be used. There's methanol and ethanol. You can even use isopropyl alcohol, which is rubbing alcohol. These are all alcohols that can be used to make fuel. But where do you get them? Well, the easiest source of alcohol is from fermented grains. If you can grow corn, wheat, rice, really anything like that, you can use it to make alcohol. You can also purchase denatured alcohol at most hardware stores. Denatured alcohol is just alcohol that has been mixed with other chemicals to make it undrinkable, so it's very safe to store around children and pets. It also evaporates slower, allowing you to work with it longer. But you can take this alcohol and distill it, turning it into a drinkable state again. To do this, we're going to need a large pot with a lid. Pour your denatured alcohol into the pot and then place your lid on top, leaving a little space in the middle. Bring the alcohol to a boil and then reduce the heat to low. As the alcohol evaporates, it will collect in the lid and then drip back into the pot. What you have left will be pure ethanol that can be used in your vehicle. Now, there's several different ways to do this. There's stills that you can buy online that will allow you to safely distill your alcohol. But you can also make a very basic still using items that you find around the house. But be careful. If you choose to do this, make sure that you do not put any chemicals or toxins into your body. Another option that a lot of people think about when they're rethinking about making their own fuel is biodiesel. Biodiesel is a type of diesel fuel that is made from organic matter. Most commonly, it's made from soybeans, but you can also make it from animal fats and other organic sources. Making biodiesel is very similar to making ethanol, except you're using oil instead of alcohol. And that's why you can mix ethanol and vegetable oil together to run certain types of engines. So we've covered a lot of different options here, but let's talk about which one is best for you. If you're going to be running a diesel engine, then you're probably better off using vegetable oil or even alcohol if you have it available. But if you're running a gasoline engine, then you're going to need to distill your oil or use alcohol. But what if you don't have any of these materials available to you? Well, you can still make a very basic fuel using sawdust and diesel fuel. Using a 2-to-1 ratio of sawdust to diesel fuel, you can create a paste that can be used to run certain types of engines. Now, this isn't going to be the best fuel, but it will allow you to stretch out your supplies if you ever needed to. I would unrecommend running your car on this fuel for long periods of time, because it's going to destroy your engine eventually. But if you need to get somewhere, and you're almost out of gas, it will allow you to make it to the gas station. So we've covered a lot of different options here. And I know a lot of you out there are thinking, well, I wish there was something that I could make that would run my car like gasoline. Well, that's actually possible using sawdust and water. Using a very specific process, you can actually turn sawdust and water into a fuel that will run your car like gasoline. And we're going to cover that process in a future video. So make sure you stay tuned to the channel to see that video when it comes out. Also, please remember to like, share, and comment on this video. If you enjoyed it, turn on the notification bell so that you never miss a video. And make sure you check out our website for all the latest news and information that we have there. And finally, please remember to subscribe to Livuga.com. Thanks for watching. Stay safe.